Live edition.
Live edition.
Yep.
All right, we're here.
Yes, we're here. We're here.
Everybody's
Are we live
strapped
and
in.
local this time?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm the host for this episode.
Yeah.
I should say
I'm,
on live.
I'm called Luke. That's what they call me.
Very formal.
His name is
Just
Luke,
saying.
by the way.
Yeah,
It's been a
so
little bit.
It has been a little bit.
We had a break.
All of us needed one. You can
Yeah.
hear why Hunter needed one.
Sorry.
I'm
gonna be
I don't know
coughing
what's
a
going on with
lot.
Austin, but he'll probably
try
get
to-
that in his small talk.
Yeah.
Whenever
But-
I cough, I'll try to stay away
Yeah,
from the
that's
mic.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Then they
not
won't hear the rolling
coughing
chair. That's a
in-
good strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I might just get up.
Okay.
I might just like move
Yeah.
the chair.
That's
like
okay.
this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with us today. If you,
Mhm.
luckily, you won't get any of Hunter's germs. All right. I think. He,
Actually,
I, think he's
found out.
vaccinated.
Yeah.
I found out how to transfer them through the mic.
Ah.
So you guys will get the germs.
Very
I'm
good.
sorry.
no, that's not good though. All right.
Yeah.
So to start the small talk, I'll start with like just recent recs.
Okay.
One that I think I talked about a while ago near the beginning of this, but I've never really delved into as much as I have recently, is a video game called Shovel Knight, which
Oh,
I know
yeah,
you've heard
yeah.
of.
I've played it.
Yeah, and you said you played it, and you said that you played it because you were looking for a game that was similar to Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer because it's a really good game
Yeah.
otherwise. So
Yeah.
it might be kind of thing if you're ever interested like, to give it a double check. I also been thinking because the whole game is you can play the first whole game co-op. But in my opinion, it's the best value on Nintendo Switch because it is 4 games in one, and I think it's only like I want to say like $25 or something.
Yeah. Is it like a hard game? Is this pretty hard?
It's decently tough. It's the first indie game that popularized retro, like newer retro games, and the first indie game that popularized indie games. Like this was 2014. This is before like your Undertales or your Cuphead. You know, like this
Right.
was the one that really started things off and put indie games on the map, which is why I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It had a legendary Kickstarter campaign. It raised like I think 10 times more than it's what it wanted because everyone was so interested in it because
Yeah.
it looked so good.
Pretty good.
And I think that it has a lot of character, really good music. Like everything about it is really nice, and it's very like just a well-made game. It's one of those games you can tell they put a lot of care into it.
Right.
So I've been playing it like a lot lately. It's very like fun and addictive. It's very if you ever played Mega Man, it's inspired a lot by
Yeah.
Mega Man.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's a lot better than Mega Man because it has a lot more character and like flair.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you bring that up. Is that the end of your
Recent recs,
your
yes.
recent recs? Because I actually have to talk about a recent rec, which is kind of similar to that in the way that it's the first game that I found that really scratches the no Hollow Knight itch.
Oh really? Ooh.
It's-
Oh, I think I know what this is gonna be.
Can you guess it?
Nine Souls.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's Nine Souls.
It just came out on Switch. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
well, I'm glad because ever since I started playing it, and I haven't gotten too far into it, only just like a little bit, a couple hours. First off, it's phenomenal. It's just a great indie game.
It definitely. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
this kind of game right here."
It just captivated me immediately. The art style is great. The story is
yeah.
phenomenal. Imagine Hollow Knight and then Dark Souls combined. They had a baby. It's this game.
But Hollow Knight already kind of had some Dark Souls, but this is like
A little
even more.
bit, yeah. This is even more.
Oh,
This is
Nine
like
Souls.
this is Dark Souls gameplay and level design combined with like Hollow Knight art style and story.
That's
So-
kind of that appeals to me more than actual Dark Souls. I
That's
think.
why every time I play the game, I'm like, oh my god, Luke would love
Yes,
this
I totally
game.
would. I see. I want. There's so many games that I want to get, and Christmas is coming up, so I don't want to get anything, and then
Right.
so that's why I've been holding back for about like a month or like so
Yeah.
that's okay. But that one I keep seeing it, and I'm like, oh man, that looks really good.
Yeah, it's very good. It
definitely
didn't get
enjoy it.
nominated for any of the game awards,
I
which
know.
is crazy.
But Balatro did.
Blatcher did for like 40
course
of them.
he did.
He pronounced
I'm just
it
saying,
perfectly.
why couldn't Nine Souls
I know.
just get in there?
The really good games never get it.
I know.
They need to have like an indie game awards or something because I feel like
It's
they're-
crazy to me that is a category, right?
It's a category,
Indie
but like
is
I
the
feel like
category.
indie games need to
Oh.
have their own thing.
Their own
they're
show,
so
yeah.
like they're also different, but categorizing them as one genre kind of defeats the whole purpose of them.
Balatro was
Right.
clearly named Balastro.
Balastro.
What?
Balatro.
I do want to play Blatcher too because I've heard that's very good.
Yeah,
but-
and even because we're have a lot of hangouts coming up, so even if like it like one run takes like 15 minutes, and you
Right.
can just see how the addictive gameplay and the
Yeah.
rumors of it.
yeah. So Hunter, how have you been?
Yeah,
I've
pretty good.
been dying.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah,
couldn't
we don't have
tell.
much longer with Hunter.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's passing
the
on.
entirety of last week, I felt like I was going to cough up a lung.
Yeah.
It was not
you?
fun. No,
Good.
I ended
He's
up
working
not.
on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on coughing up the lung right now.
I'm getting there.
If you can tell,
Which
like
one? I'm really glad we're respecting you in this.
I think my left one is
Okay.
what I'm going with because like it's really not that strong compared to my right one.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe it'll fix my asthma. You know?
Oh,
maybe
that is true.
Maybe it'll
that-
fix my
the
asthma.
solution you'd never expect.
he was like 2 steps ahead the whole time. dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of a whole lung is so much better.
Well, I mean, speaking of getting rid of body parts in your mouth,
Oh, yeah.
you had something going on, right?
I had
That phenomenal segue.
That
Yeah,
was
it was
totally
perfect. I
planned.
am very excited to talk. I mean, it feels great to be back on the podcast.
I know,
Just say
right?
It's been a week.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
I got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Uh-huh.
Now, I did not get a video because I like
No video.
like-
you son of a gun!
I'll throw some images.
Yeah.
Up in
Oh yeah,
here.
I have plenty of
boom,
pictures.
boom, boom, boom.
Like probably 2 days before, I was like, I don't want a video anymore. Like I was getting
Yeah.
really nervous. And I didn't realize how like I forgot how bad I get around like doctor stuff.
Yeah.
So I was going into this place, which by the way, this wisdom teeth doctor place is very strange. You like open the door and immediately the first thing you have to do to get to the place is walk downstairs. Like, you open the door and you have to walk downstairs to the dark part, and then the walls are all like yellow, like they're white but they have yellow.
Where did you go?
Um,
Is it in Norton?
Yeah, it's across. I think I went to the same place.
It's
A lot of people.
It has
went
like
there.
the giant circle on the door.
Yeah.
That's where I go.
It's creepy,
I
isn't
hate
it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I go upstairs. I don't go downstairs.
You got the,
I go to
you got
heaven.
the star treatment.
He
Yeah.
goes to, dang.
Yeah, Anyway, so I was like in the waiting room and I was like,
Luke going to
I'm
hell.
such a
and
big
Austin going to heaven is amazing.
I know. It's-
I'm such a big overthinker. So like sitting in the waiting room, like I was just sitting there, and all I could think about was how terrible it was going to be, and it just kept more and more like spiraling until. But so by the time that I didn't know my mom wasn't going to be able to come back with me, so I was in a pretty like messed up state. So I was sitting back there, and I was like, I did not like. I was like in my. I wasn't thinking rationally at all. I was like, if anything. Like, I am going to make it my mission to not get them to put this IV in me. I am going to do everything in my power to stop them. Like,
I hate IVs.
Yes, I do too.
I just had one put in me like I think last month when I went to the hospital, and it hurt so bad.
it's so painful.
It's terrible.
And I knew that. And so-
Yeah.
and I was like, because again, I was like so in like this terrible mental state that I was like not myself at all. I
Yeah.
was like, I like hid my arm under the sheets, like you can't see it. Like I was like, I was completely delirious.
Well, it's bad. It's even worse because I have an irrational fear of needles.
Yes,
so
me too.
I can't stand my skin getting pricked with stuff. I hate it.
Yeah, it freaks me out.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, which honestly, like thinking about it, that it shouldn't really be that scary. But
No.
like, it's again, it's like overthinking it and like
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, so that was and eventually they were like, all right, you know what, just put him on nitrous, laughing gas.
Yeah.
And I've had. Screw me, I'm having some distress. I've had laughing gas before, but this laughing gas was like probably 3 times as crazy as the one
Oh,
I had.
God.
Before. It was like as soon as I was on, I was like, "Doo-hoo-hoo." Like I kept doing like
That's the exact.
I kept doing the
laugh
Monokuma laugh.
Yeah.
I was like, "Boo-hoo." And then
Was no one there with you?
they eventually they were like, all right, we have to have his mom in here. Like we can't
Yeah.
just do. So I was like laughing, and then my mom said that every time anyone would say something, I would repeat it what they said and then laugh hysterically. So like it's like the doctor would be like, you're gonna get a little prick, and I was like, I'm gonna get a little prick. Ah! and I remember that too. Like I remember doing that, being like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And that went on.
Luke is going to the insane asylum.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And that went on for like 5 minutes. And I'm gonna go to prick. They're like, "You're gonna be okay, buddy." And I was like, "You're gonna be okay, buddy." That's what my
Bro
mom keeps
thinks he's
quoting.
bro thinks he's a parrot.
Yeah. My mom like walk around the house and be like, "You're gonna be okay, buddy," and then he's like, be like,
well,
"Stop."
I'm sure you really comforted the doctor. Okay?
Yeah, they were like,
You're-
"Oh, what is happening?"
Yeah.
Guys,
Um,
I'm scared.
Hey, guys, this is like phase 1
the
of
doctor's more scared of the needle than you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "What is this gonna do to him?"
No, when they were reassuring you that you're gonna be okay, they're actually talking to themselves like, "You're going to be
Yeah.
okay, buddy.
Yeah, then I was
You're gonna be okay."
and so anyway, so that was like phase 1, and then phase 2 is when they put I've never had this happen, but it's like to make the veins pop out of your arm and put an IV, and they wrap a rubber band around it. And that was so I was already like tingly all over because of the laughing gas, and that made my arm like I couldn't feel like I felt like I didn't have an arm.
was
It was
Yeah.
terrible.
That's
like a
why.
hairline
That's
treatment.
that's why. Thankfully, it's honestly good that I have my fear of like needles and stuff because I could never do heroin.
That's
because
a-
you know
I
how-
just said
Yes.
the joke. I just said the joke about that. I said bro got the heroin treatment.
No,
Heroin.
because you know you know what they do to like get their vein ready to do heroin?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's
is
yes.
they roll their vein. It's like
Yeah, they
That,
have
like-
That's why they have
I
to
hate
put
it.
like the belt around their
Yes.
arm and
That
stuff.
that's just to show you like how desperate people get when they are addicted to
Ugh.
that stuff.
Ugh.
It's so like,
I don't wanna talk
it's
about
like
it.
a horror movie. It's
I'm
terrible.
good. Anyways,
Anyway,
back to your terrible
yeah,
experience.
my terrible story. So I did feel a little prick. I was like, oh, I felt a prick. I remember saying that.
Okay.
And this is when the stuff they used to knock you out was like way more
It's
powerful.
just like a
than I thought.
giant
Yeah,
Tom and Jerry
yeah.
hammer.
Have
Bonk.
you seen Megamind where he's like,
Yeah,
use the
yeah.
forget me stick, and
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. So I remember a lot of things from this, and after I told my mom all this stuff I remember saying and doing, she said, "You did none of that." That was
Really?
I made it all up in my head.
What the
So
heck?
I remember like as I was going to sleep, I remember there was a point where I felt like I had to speak like this, like perfect clarity. And I remember
Yeah.
Perfect
I remember
clarity.
feeling like I had to enunciate every syllable. And for some reason. And so my mom, she was like, "You never did that. That didn't happen." So I was
Wow.
like, "So what put that in my
Okay.
brain
Brain
that I
is
did?"
gaslighting you, Luke.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was as I was falling asleep. So I was again. This is also 2 weeks since the incident. I said the incident.
The incident.
The
The
tooth
incident.
incident.
Yeah.
It's about 2 weeks since it happened. So I'm not. My memory isn't as good as it would have been if we had recorded last time.
Well,
But-
my bad.
I I also remember screaming. Like I remember screaming at the top of my lungs, and my mom was like, "You're talking at a normal volume." I was
What
like,
the heck?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was getting even more scared.
I do want to try laughing gas. I want to see what
I
that's
can
like.
I can scream, but I have no lungs.
I have, that's not what it's called.
I know it's I have no mouth, but lungs is just.
I have no lungs.
I
I mean, they both work really.
yeah.
If you don't have lungs, you can't scream.
that is
Yeah.
true, but not the context of the short story. It's like he.
I don't
uses his
care.
mouth. Okay. Anyway, yeah, laughing gas is funny, but it's like haha, I'm having this is really silly and goofy, but then like in like back of my mind I'm like, but this is also bad. Like you never really lose that, you know, your
Yeah.
brain doesn't completely go crazy.
Yeah.
So it's funny, but it's not something that's like
Yeah.
cool.
Do you still get like embarrassed in your head about what's going on?
No.
Or, no.
Well, I'm also not a person who gets embarrassed easily, so maybe that's not.
Yeah.
Because like, I'd probably would do that stuff anyway. But I. Okay, so yeah, that was like phase 3 was when I was probably like falling asleep, and then so after that, like phase 4, this is the weirdest.
Phase 4,
Yeah, phase
like it's
4.
Marvel.
I don't know why I'm doing
I was
this.
gonna
but
say
yeah.
like phase 4, like a
It's like
boss
Act 1,
fight.
Act 2. When I woke up, I felt like no time had passed.
Okay.
But I woke up in a different room, and I had no clue where I was, who I was. Like for a minute there, I was
Okay.
like, "What? Like whoa, I'm in existence now." Like
Yeah.
it was such a unique feeling. And like after a while, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, wisdom teeth thing. That's right. Like my mom's here and everything." And so I wasn't thinking straight, I guess. And you're not supposed to do this. You're not do this if you have.
You're not
wisdom
supposed to
teeth taken out.
think.
But I wanted to find my mom. So I was in this room, and this room was like a small room, and it was dark, and there was like the door was like a shutter door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So like you pull it to close
Right.
it. And it was like dark, and there was like a hospital bed in there, like a gurney. So I was like
Yeah.
in this. I was like kind of like freaked out a little bit.
Join the dirty gang.
Yeah, reminded me of Faith. You know when he's on the gurney.
Yeah.
And I had to open the door. Well, I didn't have to. For some reason I stood up. This is what you shouldn't do. Do not stand up.
He
Yeah.
was
Because-
playing a video game.
If you stand up on wisdom teeth, you don't have any balance. But me, I was like, I
Really?
don't, yeah, like you're like because they put the anesthesia or whatever.
Yeah,
And that's what makes like the anesthesia. Is what, you know the videos of people always saying.
I thought
goofy
you meant
stuff?
like because your wisdom teeth are gone, your head's like.
Oh no! Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unbalanced.
Yeah.
No, so I was
That's
like, I was
actually
delirious.
why he was
I-
so late today was because his head was so off balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
that
dude. I haven't
he
even
was
got a
like-
handle on it
he
yet.
Had, he had to like walk properly.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got up because I gotta go find my mom, and I like opened the shutter, and then this lady came in, and like was one of the doctors. She was like, "Sit down," and I was like, she was like so sarcastic and rude, and I started crying. I was like, "I'm so sorry," and she was like, "It's fine, just stay here," and I was like, "Okay," like it was so scary,
Yeah.
and
Bro's like, bro's under anesthesia, and you're being mean to him.
yeah, I know that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
why? Are you, and, like, I just remember like her face had no expression on it, and that made me really uncomfortable. I was like, it was like a
Yeah.
scene out of a movie. And then like she left, and then I sat in there for probably like 15 minutes. It felt like so long, and I was so like upset the whole time. My mom came in, and we left. And she had to like carry me kind of to the car, like because again like you don't have any balance because of the anesthesia.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't as loopy as I thought I was going to be. I was mostly just like very emotional.
Right.
You know, so yeah,
don't
this
wanna get-
is the last part. This is like phase 5, the ending of this.
Okay,
This is
alright.
when I got home, and I was kind of loopy there. I said a few things that my parents, my siblings, and my mama said that were funny, but there was nothing that was like too interesting or notable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like just sitting in the corner of the. There's you can put a picture here, sitting in the corner
Yeah.
of my couch,
Okay.
and my sister took a picture of me, and I had the gauze in my mouth, and the
Mm.
bleeding was kind of crazy. And
I hate the feeling of gauze in your mouth.
yeah, me too. It's really uncomfortable, and like when it's in your mouth, you're like, yeah, something just happened in like my mouth that is
Yeah.
bad. You know,
Yeah.
like so that's in your brain too. So
Yeah.
anyway, and the funny thing is that everyone I talked to about this had, first of all, everyone I talked to had such different experiences. It was really interesting to hear everyone's different like some people were like, I was never loopy, but I was very like tired. You know, like, everyone
Yeah.
had reacted to it differently, which is interesting.
Yeah.
For me, sitting on the couch, probably after about an hour and a half, I was up fine again, walking around playing games. Like, everyone was like, I slept all day, and I didn't. I didn't feel like I needed to, which was
Yeah.
interesting. And then so like recovery after that was like just even still, I can feel a little bit of lumps in my. It feels like it was so long ago, but I can feel some lumps.
Yeah.
But after that, it felt like I had rocks in my mouth.
Really?
Like, for probably a good week. And it's interesting. It was really funny. I kept making this joke, and for some reason, everyone thought it was funny. But I had a picture of me with my cheeks all puffed out. My cheeks, my swelling was really bad. And I kept telling everybody, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these acorns in my mouth. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
like bury them for winter
Yeah.
or something. And everyone thought that was funny. And I was like, oh, cool. So at least I got a little joke out of this then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in pain, but at least I'm okay.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. So yeah, I was Chubby Luke for a while. I'm very remiss that I didn't get to have Chubby Luke make an appearance on the podcast.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
he'll
kinda glad
he'll
we
be
did
here
it.
in spirit.
Yeah,
I'm
he is
kind
in
of glad
spirit.
we didn't, because that would hurt for you.
It wouldn't hurt. My mouth, it never, because the pain meds are super strong, and I had like 4 different pills,
Yeah.
and they were all like huge. Like it was I was like, this is crazy stuff
Yeah.
right now.
Well, I'm glad you shared your experience because my girlfriend is actually
Oh,
she
no.
goes tomorrow to get them checked out and to
Oh,
like make an appointment.
Yeah, that's what-
to get them removed.
I
so.
I always hate telling people about it though, because I don't want them to be scared. Like,
Right.
It
Well, now I am, and I'm.
yes, it's very like
Yes.
overstimulating, but like after it's over, it really wasn't that.
I'm now
bad.
crapping bricks, Luke.
And
Use
you'll,
the
you'll
other term.
I don't know what that means, and you'll get a good story out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I
So,
can't say the other term since
yeah,
on the podcast.
it is true.
Yeah.
So that's my wisdom teeth story.
I
It was
only
very
have-
interesting, very funny.
Missing one question.
Oh, dude, you did so much work. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, good. Oh, you were doing that this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I have 3 for Austin, but I'm trying to figure out the last one for Luke. There a lot of mine are just like, what's your favorite this?
Okay.
What I bet you're wondering, what is Hunter talking about?
Pause.
Oh, it-
I need you to pause right now.
I have more small talk too. Actually,
Okay, okay.
I'll wrap up here real quick.
All right.
So
But yeah,
this is a
they're
lot
all
of
just
school
like,
stuff
what's
and
your
choir
favorite
stuff.
this?
By this time, well, actually by this Friday technically, but this is the last episode we're recording before we know if I'm playing Willy Wonka or not. And I'm worried about saying that because I don't like to jinx anything, and I don't want to like not get it and then look back and be like, oh man, I was so confident.
Yeah.
But I've been practicing a lot. And I feel really confident about it, and I think that me being Willy Wonka is the perfect way to like end off
Oh
my
yeah.
senior year.
It's
you
like
know?
I've said it like before too. Like you're like the perfect fit. Like I could.
Yeah,
easily, like
right.
I don't see anyone else being Willy Wonka.
My entire vibe up until this point has always been kind of goofy, silly, but
Yeah.
also like top hats. But you know,
Yeah.
like the fancy but
It's
fun.
just the top
like
hats.
it was just there's so much about him that is just so like, and like I grew up with the story. Like that was like my favorite movie when I was a kid. I'd watch it over and over. Read the book.
Are
a
you
million
gonna like
times.
dye his hair's black, right? Are you gonna dye your hair
No,
black?
we have to. We don't really have to dye our hair.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So yeah, that's only really like professional theater when they
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
not casted to like perfection.
Yeah, well, it's more like for the musicals, it's more like you're playing a character, but you also are yourself because there is
Yeah.
this sense of like wanting to show off, which isn't what I want. Like I think
Yeah.
a lot of the kids, I don't want to offend anybody. That was we're really close,
Yeah.
but I think that there is sometimes this mindset of like I want to get a big part because I want everyone to see how amazing I am.
Right.
But you know, for me, it's like I want to get Willy Wonka because I want to be Willy Wonka. Like that's cool and
Yeah.
fun, and it's a great thing for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
My singing I'm having to get better at it, and I've improved a lot these past few months, which I'm very happy about. So everyone, fingers crossed. By the time this episode goes up, we won't know. By the time this episode goes up, it'll be the day of we find out.
Okay. Well,
We'll
by
find out the
next
next
episode
episode.
then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of school, it's finals week for me. finally finishing
Finals
up
week will be
this
next week.
this
Yeah.
semester.
I've heard college finals are intense.
Yeah, it's been going reasonably well so far. All of my finals except for one are online, so I don't even have to be at school mostly this week.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
But so to put this into perspective, I have a little mini Austin tragedy story here. So my computer science class, which is the one exam where I have to be in person for, I have computer science Tuesday and Thursday of the week, and there was no announcement in the website about when the exam would be, and I had missed the last class, so I didn't hear about when the exam was going to be. So I knew it was either going to be today or it was going to be Thursday. And another class that I had today, I thought my exam was supposed to be today as well. I drive all the way to Kent.
Oh, no.
And then I get on the bus. I go all the way around. There's like nobody there, by the way. I was the only person on the bus.
His
Interesting.
tragedy is that he had nothing.
So I get there and I sit down in the classroom and then I check the announcements and there it is. The exam is not only not today for both of my classes, so I went there for absolutely no reason, but my computer science exam is at 7:45 a.m.
Oh, no.
on Thursday.
Bummer.
I've never been to Kent that early.
So there was no way to check like on your own. You had to go to the school to check when your exam was.
I don't think the announcement came out until I was driving to the
Oh.
school. So it wasn't very
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, good luck,
convenient.
buddy.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's
If that's the worst thing about exams, then I think.
yeah,
that
the
you-
exams themselves, I've already done 2 of them, which they're exams, but really they were just like final paper essays. So it wasn't even like a test really.
Good thing I'm not going
Yeah,
to college.
my parents were like, "Man, exams are like, ooh, the boogeyman. Like exams are gonna get you in college." But like,
I mean, it's also the first semester, so
That
it's
is
like I'm sure they'll get more intense.
I don't. I'm not saying that I don't think that they will be intense, but I like high school exams are like nothing. Sometimes they'll just give us like free points for like playing board games or something.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
Oh,
about
I'm
all
another. Oh, another thing I just remembered.
Oh.
God.
In my English class, we read Frankenstein, and we're doing a.
Oh my gosh.
It's really good.
It's so
We
good.
finished it.
Oh, that's what you guys are doing?
And I really enjoyed the ending.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing a trial now, where we have like a team who is defending Stan and a team who is Stan is what we call Frankenstein.
Oh.
I came up with that name in the class, just for the record. We're doing a trial, and I'm defending Stan,
Yeah.
and I've been making objections, and I've been doing like
okay.
cross examinations, and I was
Wow.
like, I
That's
felt
pretty
like
cool.
Phoenix Wright. I was like, it's pretty
This
cool.
is what he gets to do.
Well,
and
I'm an
I-
AP, so
I was
Okay.
also an AP, and I don't remember doing that. It was a new thing.
I gave her the idea.
Oh, okay.
Me and another girl in that class were like, could we please do a
I-
trial? And she was like, yeah.
They
I
actually
want
get
you-
fun stuff, and we have the most boring thing.
Well, that's what you gotta take
I,
AP.
I want
No.
you to bring something up to Miss LaCroix next time you see her. Ask her if she remembers when last year's AP class was reading Frankenstein and Austin made a very inappropriate joke in front of the entire class. And it was very awkward.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
You're feeling adventurous that
Yeah,
day.
I just like, I said it because like I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then it was like, she was like, what did you say?
Nothing.
Yeah, I was like,
I want to hear what you said after this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If you remember.
I really enjoyed Frankenstein. It's very fun, and this assignment is really cool because it tests our knowledge.
Frankenstein, which you wouldn't think so because I usually don't like super old books, especially books that I'm forced to read
That's
for
funny
school.
because I prefer classic literature.
Yeah. But Frankenstein is one of my favorite books of all time.
Yes,
it's
it's
so
very
good.
All like the moral questions and all like it's again morally gray.
Right.
You know, all the characters are very like question, and that makes for a very interesting discussion.
Yeah, it's a very good book.
Penguin Z0 posted a video.
He's always posting while we're recording.
No, this was 2 hours ago.
Oh,
He posted this video
I think I know what
saying
you're talking about.
slapping theory leaves 2 people dead.
oh,
Slapping therapy.
What?
Yeah.
Therapy.
not
yeah,
good.
that's what I meant. Not
Yeah.
theory. Did I say
there's
theory?
been interesting
Yeah.
stuff going
My
on
bad.
lately.
Therapy.
It's okay.
on
I
his
forgive
channel.
you.
There's some interesting stuff he's been talking about
Yeah.
lately.
I
Have you
know.
seen
Ooh,
the-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we-
I'm pretty sure I sent it to. Sent the
Yeah,
screenshot to
it's
you.
interesting.
That was interesting.
Anyway,
That was a weird one. Never
I think
watched
that's all I
it.
have to say about that. Any? Would you have anything besides your coughing?
Not really.
That's
No?
about it in the hunter world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really recent in my life.
I'm
Yeah.
also doing for our band. I am very busy. This week is like the busiest week I think I've ever had in my entire life.
That's
This whole
crazy.
month has been.
Yeah. That's been pretty
I also
busy.
have, for band, I have a. I'm not in band, but they wanted to pick me specifically because there's a song they're doing. Last year they did a song called Santa the Barbarian, which was like epic movie trailer version music of Christmas music, and it was really cool.
Really?
It's like I can't sing it because it doesn't have words,
Yeah.
but it's really cool. And then they're doing a sequel this year called Son of Santa the Barbarian, which is like more, and it's like the sequel, and there's a narrator who does it, and I'm
The
and
sequel.
he talks about like the story about how like Santa had a son,
Yeah.
and because Santa was like this evil barbarian who wanted Christmas to be like terrible,
Yeah.
and his son was actually Saint Nicholas, and they had like a big war, and I narrated.
Nice,
It's really,
nice.
and I get to go like ho ho no. It's really funny.
Interesting.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'm doing that too. So I'm completely all over the place this week.
Yeah. Well, busy's good sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get to
Um,
look forward to listening to this episode at the end of the week.
I know.
It's,
Yeah.
Busy is good when it's fun. When it's fun.
Yeah, it's all fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just
when
a
it's
lot of
fun
stuff.
busy. It's good. When it's boring busy.
Yeah, that's when it's
Like finals.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except it is nice because I'm basically already on Christmas break. So
Once next week's over, it's gonna be so much better for 2 weeks, guys. For us, at least.
Yeah.
I get like a whole month. Ooh.
Also, Hunter, we have the 21st off too, I think.
Okay.
Because you
Still
were saying that we had it starts at the 21st, so we have more time off than we thought.
one day extra.
In the 22nd and 23rd. Those are the
I don't really
weekends.
count those days off when I get out, like-
Anyway, we have an episode today too.
Yeah, we do have something going on.
So I came up with this idea just because I felt like it was a good me episode, and because I think we can make it entertaining.
Yeah.
We all picked 5 questions for each other. So like we each, like Austin made 5 for me and 5 for me and 5 for Hunter. Hunter made 5 for Austin and 5 for me. You know.
No,
And
I have 3 for you.
Yeah.
3
Well,
for him,
well, and we
and
could
then
also,
2 for both of you. Since
Well,
I
the
could've-
both ones count as one for each of us. So
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even do any both ones. I just did individual.
Well, no, that was just because I couldn't think of
it's okay.
anything.
That wasn't a rule that you couldn't do both ones.
Okay. Well, so a little Q&A kind of.
Yes. So how we're gonna do this is that we're like.
Good job.
It was a good beatbox. Did you join our
Yeah,
beatbox?
yeah, that's good.
I love
so
it.
like,
Somebody remix that, loop it. Yeah.
Okay, so each of us like I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask Austin all his questions, and then Hunter will ask me all my questions, and then Austin will ask Hunter, and we'll go around. So why don't we actually start that way? I'll start
I'm
with Austin's
spooked.
questions.
Okay. So are you going through all of my questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
that's
we're
what he
doing
means
it.
by all
Unless
this
you
time.
wanted to do like I ask you a question, Hunter asks him a question,
I don't
like
know.
we rotate the hot seat. It
Whatever
doesn't
you
really
want to
matter.
do, I don't care.
It's your episode.
Okay, well we'll do it the first way because that gives
Okay.
Hunter more time to think.
Yeah.
All right, Austin. First question.
Yes.
What do you think makes a well-written character?
Ooh. Okay. All right. What makes a well-written character?
My question's gonna be boring.
That's okay.
Compared to
No, they were good. The ones that you had were good.
I want to say because what attracts me to maybe that's not the right
What
word.
attracts you?
I know what you
What
mean.
what makes me interested in characters most of the time is moral dilemmas. But that doesn't mean characters that are 100% without moral flaws aren't interesting because there's characters like Superman and like superheroes, which I guess
Aren't interesting.
there are always they even have some moral quandaries here and there.
Yeah.
But
Look at him using big words.
I guess
Quandaries.
yeah.
I know what
it's
you
not
mean.
that big.
I know.
I guess what makes a character interesting is just the message you're trying to tell with like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like the purpose behind their character.
Yes.
So like the kind of mindset your character has about whatever's going on in the plot and whatever kind
Right,
of
right.
you know because they have to almost every time disagree with whatever's going on in order for there to be a story.
That is true.
So it's just whatever their perspective on the situation is usually what makes it interesting.
Perspective is a good word, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd have to say.
That's actually pretty. I think that's a pretty good way to describe that. Even I mean, no, that's your preference, but I think that a lot of people would also agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, that was good. All right, here's one that I've been waiting to ask. This is actually the one that kind of made me think of this episode idea.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you, what appeals to you so much about westerns?
Okay.
Because I've been wondering this for a while, and I really want to know.
Yeah. Okay. that's a tough question because there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, funnily,
I know.
that's a word, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Funnily
it is.
enough, it's nothing that you think. It's not like I like westerns because of the setting or because of the stereotypes, like the rootin' shooting cowboys.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I more like westerns just because they're always telling the kind of story that I'm interested in, which is typically, like moral, kind of dilemma kind of stories where it's, outlaws, learning to change their ways, or it's about, the rise of civilization and kind of like this whole change in like a
That is
social environment.
interesting.
Which is another reason I like Red Dead so much, is because that's a big part of what the story focuses on, is these people kind of being forgotten by time and how
Yeah.
they deal with that. And it's just like it's nothing you really see anymore with how digital everything is.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
for sure.
no one's going to be forgotten anymore. So it's like these people lived a certain lifestyle and now they're completely forgotten.
Yeah,
And-
and it's kind of immortalized in these
right.
pieces of media.
And the genre itself too is being forgotten.
Yes.
And it's just like a dying genre. That's another part, is like I just feel like it deserves to be
Yeah.
renewed.
Oh, dude.
I actually wrote one of my final papers about you had to do a genre analysis, and the big question I posed is why westerns are dying.
Yes.
And I chalked it up to essentially why I like westerns, so it kind of conflicts, is that they just tell the same story over and over again.
Ah.
They're not trying to do anything new. It's
Yeah.
like there's a bounty hunter, there's a lone star cowboy, there's
Yes.
lawmen, and like it very rarely do you see any new kind of format
Deviation.
right being used. And all of the iconic westerns everyone knows and loves, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for example, are completely unique and innovated for their time, which is why they're so memorable.
That's why Rango is so good.
That is that honestly really answered my, like, that more than I thought it would. That really
Yeah.
makes sense. I always found the whole death of the Western thing so vastly interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's something about like this genre, or even like the stories being like so like old and forgotten, yet still like important. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's
It's just crazy when, I mean, obviously it's hard to picture because we weren't really around for the time that westerns were at their prime, at their peak. But it's crazy that a genre that big could fail at all.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, especially in America, where it's the American western. This is where it was popular.
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a lot, but that's essentially.
You said something perfect. And again, I will say again, I know I keep saying this, but Deltarune Chapter 3 is all about, hopefully,
true.
probably about the
Yes.
death of the Western. He's been teasing that a lot.
Yeah.
So you probably will enjoy that.
Very interested.
That's very interesting. I feel like there's a hole in my mind that's
Very
been
good.
like sealed up now
Yeah.
that I understand
Yeah.
more
You're
about the reasoning
welcome.
behind that. Yeah. All right. This one is one that I have been asked before, and I think is a very interesting question. I think it says a lot about you.
Okay.
Or the way you answer it. What is your favorite compliment you've ever received?
Ooh. Okay.
Like, what makes you feel the most validated when people
I have
say it?
to, I have to traverse my mind all the way back to the last compliment.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, I have to swim through all these compliments.
Yeah, no, I have so many compliments
Yeah,
being
yeah.
thrown at me every day.
Every single day.
And
man.
I mean, sometimes you don't even realize when someone's being complimentary. Like, they might
True.
do something that is
Yeah.
respectful or appreciative.
Sometimes people compliment you on things that you rather wouldn't like to be complimented about.
I agree.
Yeah,
I've had that
you got
before
really
too.
big ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, someone told me once I had very delicate features. And I was like,
Yeah, look at
I
you.
don't know, you got very. I feel like that could go either
Weird
way.
thing to say at all.
Yeah.
I don't even think you have a big head either. I was just
What? That was just an example.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No, my head might be quite large.
It's okay.
I got a big head.
I guess I want to say any compliments I receive about like my work, about like writing and stuff like that.
Mhm,
I
that's
always
kinda what I
I always love that, but that's if I'm narrowing it down to something specifically, it was something one of my friends said all the way back in like I think it was like middle school. So I don't know how true it really holds up anyway.
Yeah.
But the compliment was that they admired how I see the good in people. And
Ooh, yeah.
I thought that was really sweet.
I agree.
Uh,
someone said that to me one time, and I really feel like that is very important because a lot of people don't see the good in people
Yeah,
anymore.
like
And-
for example, what they were even referencing was, and this is a friend, ironically, that I'm not friends with anymore.
Mhm, I've had some of
But
those, too.
I have lots of friends like this where, they can be like almost polar opposites to me in a
Yeah.
way, which even you guys are kind of like that in certain aspects.
Yeah, I
like
mean, there's
opposites.
differences, yeah.
So it's like people, or what my
Whoa.
friend said was, I had a friend that was kind of annoying, and my other friend could tell that this friend annoyed me a lot. And they said they admired that I was still friends with them because I could still see, because I think I said something like, yeah, they're annoying, but they're a really good friend.
Yeah,
and
they're a
it's
good
like,
person.
Yeah, right. So it's stuff like that.
That is, I wonder if that person felt that they appreciated that you did, or that they wish that they could see the good in people.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what I wonder, and it's a very good thing to do.
Yeah, I
know,
think so too. It's very beneficial too.
Right.
Like giving everyone the benefit of the doubt and being able to like respect everyone anyway is will get you far in life. I
Right.
think.
Yeah. So that was just like kind of a really personal kind of no. I don't think everyone's ever said something like that to me before. So it was just like it was very nice. It
Yeah,
was very nice, and I
that is good.
still remember it to this day. So clearly it was
Oh yeah,
memorable.
thank you, person.
Well,
Yeah.
Austin, with the whole like saying the we're like polar, like kind of polar opposites, like your friends are.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it kind of just makes sense because like the opposites, the thing attract.
Yeah, like,
Opposites
it's
attract,
a good
yeah.
good chemistry.
You never really.
Yeah.
The thing is, you never really. I mean, yeah, you can be friends with someone who's like
Mm-hmm.
very similar to you, but like you'll never like become best friends with them because they're just you.
Yeah,
with
so I
somebody
think so
else.
too. Whenever the closer someone is to my personality, the more I dislike them
Yeah.
because I feel like they're kind of like stealing my thunder. You know, like,
Right.
I don't like
yeah,
that.
because
Yeah.
they're just you, or you're just them.
Especially if they get respect for the same
Right.
things that I want to get respect
Yeah.
for. I'm like,
I
I
mean, you guys are very a different instance.
I've always
because-
thought this about me and Hunter.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because I think something I realized like that we're on a surface level we are very different people. Like we have very different interests,
Right.
different personalities, but it's like it comes to the way that we interact with people and the way
Right.
that we like treat others. Like they just happen to connect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are always like, oh yeah, the opposites attract, but I think that there always is something there that even is similar because people also find solace in being similar to people.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And on being like understanding. You know,
So, well, I mean, magnets are same. As
Yeah.
in they are magnets.
magnets are a metaphor for life. I think that's
That's-
why God made them.
Yeah, well, they're the reason why they attract because they're different,
Yes.
but they're also the same because they're magnets.
Oh, speaking of which, I finished It Takes Two. I forgot to mention this.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good. Really, great game. Very
Yeah.
well made. Not too much to say about it. It was just really good. You should go play
Yeah.
it.
I heard something about, now don't spoil it for me, but a traumatizing elephant scene.
Oh yeah.
Was it traumatizing?
Yeah. And I played with my sister too, and she was like,
Oh.
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's very
It's
well
good.
written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
That's something I wish we could do, but it's a long game, so it won't be
Yeah.
something we could do. Like,
Well,
in one
that's
day.
also something I've been reserving. I really want to play with my girlfriend.
You should, yeah.
so
And I
it's
want,
like-
to hear your experience because I do wish I had like a significant other to play games with.
Because it just makes sense for that game specifically too.
Yeah,
like, with
yeah.
the story and everything.
All right. This is one that you could be worded different ways, but this
Okay.
is just, what sparks your passion, or what makes you passionate about something?
What makes me passionate about something?
Jeez, sorry guys.
It's okay.
I guess
Talk
I
about
would.
the mic people. Or people getting behind the mic.
It's another one where my passion is sparked by many different things, but I mean, one of them being the idea of how people react to it. I can't like deny that that's a big one.
Yeah.
I like, imagining how an audience would react to something.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I do that all the time too.
Yeah. But more specifically, I guess obviously I'm very passionate about media and creating content and all kinds of stuff like that. I would have to say other content inspires me because the number one way that I warm up in order to like get the creative juices flowing and get like sit down and write and
Yeah,
do the hard stuff, do the work, is usually by watching other stuff. Like I'll watch an episode of a show or something, and then I'll be like, man, that was so good. Now I need to do some writing, and like it's almost like a drug addiction.
Yeah,
you know?
but it's good.
Right,
you know?
like I start feeling the urges the more I watch or consume something.
I've known things like that too, where the more I interact with something, the more I want to keep doing it.
Right.
You know, because it makes you feel good.
Also, Luke, will you need a ride home?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. I feel like passion is something I'm always very interested in because it manifests in different ways in so many different people.
Yeah.
You know. All right, and we got one more for Austin. Don't worry, you can stop thinking soon.
I'm not ready to think.
What is something you don't understand?
Something I don't understand.
And this can be anything.
You know, I don't think there's anything.
What?
I am so smart. I think
got it.
I
Get
understand everything.
Get out. Get out.
I can't really think of anything. I guess I don't understand why people don't think I'm the smartest.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand this question.
Yeah.
No.
So you're not the smartest.
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
Something I don't understand. Why anyone would major in computer science, for example.
Aren't you doing that?
No.
He's majoring in media literacy.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Media communications.
No.
Media.
Close.
Medias.
Digital media production.
Digital media production.
Yeah, see, I knew that. I said that actually very quickly. You guys just didn't hear
It was
it.
the skies.
Mike
cough.
didn't catch it. Nothing heard it. I said it like really quickly.
Something I don't understand. I guess.
Digital media stuff.
Yeah. Stuff. Sports is a big thing.
Dude, yeah.
I don't understand. There are like I guess certain
Hockey.
sports that I can see the appeal behind, even if they
Hockey.
don't appeal
Yeah.
to me. But in certain sports, I'm just gonna name drop a few: baseball, golf,
Exactly.
football,
Yeah.
basketball.
Dang,
Maybe
bro.
not so much basketball. Basketball is kind of an exception.
I don't understand the appeal of baseball.
It's just like especially football. It's so back and forth, stop and go, stop
Yeah.
and go, stop. It just throws my brain off, and it's like baseball. I think is the most boring. It's like tied with golf. I think with the most boring sport of all time.
I watched. Okay, so I was watching a video, and some guy goes, "Yeah, I watch baseball for the action." What action, bro?
Yeah.
They throw a ball and he hits it and he goes to a
Well,
plate.
sometimes
That's the
they
most
get a home
action.
run,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
That's the most action is maybe a home run or somebody catches a ball.
sports.
That's it.
Sports for me, I guess what I would say is that I don't understand the appeal of sports.
Yeah.
I never really understood what makes people like sport. Like I don't know.
I can understand like
To
hockey or
me,
football 'cause
it was
people are, like,
always
bashing each other.
sports. Like different sports to me were always so like samey. Like it's
Yeah.
just the same thing every time.
Right.
And I feel like and everyone's but there's different players and different plays and it's like that's not really what I want. Like I
Yeah.
want something that tells a story first of all.
Yeah.
But I want something that's constantly changing and evolving and making me think. You know.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, sports are like the one form of media without a story, which is the one thing I need.
Without,
Yes.
without
Like-
a story.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just it's
Just watch
and everyone, well, sometimes
WWE.
my parents make this point sometimes. It's like, well, the players have stories, like you know they.
Right.
But that's real, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
it's-
have
it's-
stories,
it's-
but they won't tell you them. all
Well,
the
they
time.
do, but the stories are very like they're not like.
half the time they're not even like related to the game
Yeah,
anyway.
that's what-
so
that's
it's
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, right.
It's like it's
It's interesting and like I enjoy watching hockey with Hunter because I enjoy being there with
Right.
the passionate people and cheering. Like that's fun.
that's why if now being at a baseball game, that's a different story.
Yeah.
That's a little more interesting.
Right.
But I don't understand watching baseball at home in front of a TV.
I
It's
agree.
the most boring thing in the entire planet.
It's not like I'm like, oh, people who enjoy sports aren't correct.
Right.
It's just I don't understand it. Like I don't really get what the appeal is. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I'm not a physical guy, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did-
It's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't do cross country.
It's definitely a
topic.
topic that
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so I'm glad that we hit on that. All right, so now that's all of Austin's first questions.
I guess it's.
It's okay if you have a few less too, because
I only have 3 for you right now.
because we don't have much time.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
No, we're good. Like, don't stress out about it. But like, if they all took that long, we probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, mine are kind of easy.
Right.
They're kind of. I think you'll just know.
All right.
What is your favorite indie game and why?
Ooh.
Oh wow.
That was a really good question to start off with.
They're all just favorites.
Ah, dude, no, that is good. It changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can definitively say. Oh man.
Wow.
I think I can definitively say at this point in my life that Pizza Tower is my favorite indie game.
Okay.
I enjoy it's full of charm and intrigue. Very, very good like level design. The inspiration is obvious. Incredible soundtrack. But I will say that I think Deltarune will probably end up being my favorite just because I have such a close connection to it. Because I'm
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
up with it, and it's like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, but as of right now, it's probably Pizza Tower. But Deltarune will definitely be there when it's finished. I think.
Yeah.
Also, Undertale is probably my second, just because it puts emotion in the video games, got me into indie games, got me into games that have stories. So yeah, that was a good question. I like that one.
Well, since Austin's gonna be like a little different. I have some of these are just kind of like the same.
Is this
but
one of the
they're, like,
both ones?
No, they're some of the questions are just the same, but like worded differently.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wait, but
Because
you're-
obviously you guys do different stuff.
Yeah.
This one's favorite game by Nintendo, and his is probably gonna be like.
oh, okay. My favorite game by Nintendo. I've
Since you really only play Nintendo stuff.
well, I think I don't play Nintendo because I enjoy Nintendo. I play Nintendo because I enjoy
well,
the
I know.
games.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
because you have
Yeah.
Nintendo, you only.
And
play
I also
Nintendo.
think that indie games appeal to me a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially lately, I've just been like Nintendo. I've just been like, you know.
Well, has there been a Nintendo game that's captured the same kind of
Yeah,
feel
just-
that indie games
just your
give you?
favorite-
Well, Kirby,
Kirby.
because
Well,
Kirby.
honestly, that's what I thought.
Yes, Kirby games definitely have a feel of like they have all this like hidden deep lore that a lot of like indie games have, and the characters are interesting and silly, and they have like all different themes that are like I enjoy, like the music, like telling a story through music. So to me, Kirby is probably like I can't really pick a specific game because they're all like just kind of the same type of deal. But Kirby games to me have always been the most like interesting and well like you can see the passion behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite is maybe not my least favorite, but maybe the one that I think appeals to me the least as the years have gone on is Legend of Zelda, which I've talked about so many times. But
Yeah.
it just really isn't. It's kind of similar to baseball. Like it's very slow to me.
Yeah.
And it's just not really my thing anymore.
And I got the last question for you. Then
Alright.
I think I'll do the both questions, like when we're like ending
Yeah,
off.
that's a good idea.
Your favorite episode we've recorded, like the process of it, not
the
the actual
process.
episode. Because I know your favorite episode, or one of your favorite episodes, was my episode.
It is my favorite episode.
The,
Still, I was just thinking about this the other day. Hunter's Mysterious
But I want
Conspiracy.
your favorite episode, like the process of us recording it, not the actual like end
Yes.
product.
I think my favorite one was Game Night because
Yeah.
I love.
That's an interesting pick.
You think so?
Yeah, I forgot that.
I liked the like I thought it was very fun to like like actually do the stuff and talk about it was like I had fun doing this podcast, but that was one that I felt like I was having fun and I didn't have to be doing a podcast to
Right.
be having fun.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I just love board games and I like playing games with my friends, especially you guys.
That's another one we have to do again sometime.
I think
Yeah, we
so
have to
too.
do that
We only played 2 like board games on this podcast. Maybe
Right.
we should do more.
Yeah.
I think also, if we ever did like anything YouTube wise, I would like to do like a board game thing because to me,
Yeah.
I always liked board games, but it's hard for me to find time and to be able to like stay focused on it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game Night was definitely one that I stood the test of time
Jeez,
for me.
sorry.
Every time I listen to the Pictionary theme from NES, I always think of our episode because it just reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess those
a
are
good
my
song.
3 questions.
All right, good. All right, Austin. Now you're gonna ask Hunter.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm
Gonna
scared.
ask Connor these questions.
I'm
All right.
scared, guys. I'm gonna
Um,
cry.
Okay, let's see. I'll start it off light.
Okay.
Hunter, if you could live in any anime world, which would it be and why?
Ooh. Oh God.
Is that in anime?
No, that is actually kind of difficult because there's so many horrible ones. To
Yeah.
live in,
Yeah.
but there's not very many like good ones that I've
Attack
at
on
least.
Titan.
Oh no.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
You know the giant like that. I had never watched it, but the
I watched the
Titans
first
just eat-
episode and I was
the
like, no
Titans
more.
just eat people.
Yes.
Because they want to turn back into normal humans.
was
So
horrible.
they just eat
Yeah.
people
That first
until they
episode
can
was so
turn it until they find a
traumatizing.
Turner or whatever they're called.
All right.
I never watched the anime. I just know.
Are
that.
there any anime worlds that are like not?
I'm gonna
terrible?
look up. I'm gonna look at all the animes
You
that
know,
I've
as
watched.
dangerous as it would be to live in the Dragon Ball universe, at the same time, I feel like Earth is never harmed. Never.
That is true.
Except for maybe the future version,
I gotta
the,
keep
the
watching-
future timeline.
Listen, buddy.
Other than that,
I was gonna say Dragon Ball, then I'm like, but I would die because my luck, one of like Nappa and Vegeta would land in the city that I'm living
Oh,
in.
yeah.
But
I
and
forgot
they're
about that.
They're
I
like,
forgot about that,
hey
yeah.
guys,
But you
Boom!
also got to think about in Dragon Ball, he gets shot like a bazillion times and never dies. So.
yeah, they're also.
I haven't gotten to
I
the
also
big
have
stuff
to
yet.
be a Saiyan in this. Do if I go to if like I live in these worlds, do I have? Is there a possibility that I can be born with like the powers or?
I mean, yeah, you have as much chance as anyone else
I
in the
think
story.
I might just go with like a normal like anime, like a Classroom of the Elite or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Because
go.
that's just normal world stuff. I don't
Okay.
have to like be
So you're choosing the
smart
safe
pe-
the safe route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you watched Classroom of the Elite?
I haven't.
Everyone
no.
gets a little
I've
more
heard it's good
attractive.
though.
I was gonna say there's something interesting. and
But if I was
clever
gonna
and
go with a
witty.
dangerous one, I'd say Erased because like,
Oh,
that's the one where like actually I might not spoil it if you might watch it.
I was just.
I put that on my
Well,
watch
actually,
list. so-
Erased. There's you'll find out.
I was gonna
There's
say,
just
I-
somebody that kills.
I know I
people
haven't
or
finished
whatever.
Dragon Ball yet, but I got the itch again recently to keep watching it.
You
so-
have to.
I know.
You're in the best saga.
I know, especially because again, my life got so busy. 'Cause I think it's kind of started with my sister getting sick. Then since then, it's just been like constant stuff. All my free time has been dedicated to like, kind of like working on like my singing and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't really had much time to like do a lot of media stuff.
Right.
But I'll probably get back into that after break. And I do really want to get back into Dragon Ball because I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I've been I was playing Punch Out, and I was like, oh man, that character's animations look like Dragon Ball, and I was like, it was all I could
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, next question, Hunter.
Yeah. So let's
I
see.
don't know, cells just gonna like pop out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
Just like boom.
Yeah. What is a crucial life experience that afterwards you deem to be a great learning lesson?
Ooh.
Oh, I like that one. That's good.
This is like a job interview type
Yeah.
question.
He's got the job.
Yeah. My
You're
brain
hired.
my brain is got to like it's pumping gears. It's like gears are moving and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like
It can be anything. It can be I don't like Kraft macaroni and cheese,
yeah.
and I am never gonna buy from them again.
I don't know.
But anything that's important to you.
Important to me. I guess when I learned that there's a lot. Well, I guess textures, food texture. So I learned.
That you're a very texture based eater. Or-
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, I actually well, the same thing. Like that definitely did change the way I thought about food because I was
Yeah.
worried that something was wrong with me.
Hmm.
But it wasn't.
Okay. Here's another light
But
question
also
for you.
taste is also something because it has to have a good taste too.
I guess I should have did this one next because we were talking about Dragon Ball. But
What?
you've assembled all 7 Dragon Balls, and
Oh.
Shenron is asking for your one wish. What would it be?
Ah, dang it! I thought I was gonna be part of the gang. Dang it!
Part of the gang. One of the
is that?
7
Like
Dragon Balls.
like the original, like the Z fighters and stuff. People just call them the gang
I
because
don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen
I
it.
actually have no clue what you're talking
well, the
about.
Z fighters are like the main cast from like the first
Oh,
show.
I forgot
Bulma.
that's what
Like-
they're called.
Yeah, they're called Z. Yeah, they're called the Z
Yeah.
fighters.
Okay.
Fun fact: Dragon Ball Z was actually supposed to be Dragon Ball 2, but
Really?
they
I'm glad they didn't call it that.
yeah. But yeah. My one wish from Shenron.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in the entire world that of his power.
Yep.
This kind of reminds me of our second episode.
3rd episode. But
Third
yeah.
episode, Icebreakers.
Well, because Pilot was split into 2 episodes, but yeah.
I don't count that as 2 episodes. I count it as 1 episode because they're supposed to be technically, but we had to. But our second episode recorded outside of Pilot. Ah, dang.
What would you do to Shenron?
Not do it, Shenron.
What would I don't know how to phrase it better.
Yeah.
I got all Dragon Balls.
I know what I would do.
And my first wish, my one and only wish. God, that is actually so
you should
difficult.
you know what you should say?
What?
Get rid of your cough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, depends on when I collected all the Dragon Balls.
Say it's right now. What would you do?
Right now, I'd probably say get rid of my cough. It's like it's like one of the few things I want, or teleportation.
There you go. Answer.
I would like teleportation,
Yeah.
To teleport out of this podcast.
so I can go to like, bro. Think of all the things you could do with teleportation. Like you're just like
You can no clip into a wall.
you could just go to school, just have instant transmission, just boop.
Yeah, true.
Me and Hunter was like, the
Go to
first
school.
thing I'm doing with teleportation is going to school.
Well, I mean, like I don't have to deal with all the driving stuff. I can
Yeah.
just go.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
go whenever I want. Like be like for like
You can go anywhere
It's
too.
exactly.
Yeah, so
You go to the Marion
Like,
Trench.
you could teleport inside a bank, steal all the money, teleport out.
Exactly. I could like if I'm late somewhere, or I'm gonna be late, I can just go boop and instantly just be there.
Why is it? Why does it have to be?
Because that's
touch
what they
your
do in
head?
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's the
The instant transmission.
Did they say boop?
No.
No, that's the sound effect. Yeah.
They didn't have to do that.
Actually, I'm on the episode where he's talking about instant transmission, learning it.
nice.
Well, we have
Um,
that's called our cell phones. We can just instantly.
That's the different.
Yeah.
Google Earth.
That's transmitted.
Next question.
Yeah.
If you could leave one huge mark on the world after you're gone, what would it be? So you just think like you can solve any big problem. You can
Food.
like
like
Be
hunger?
like a really good chef.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
cook as much delicious food as possible and feed
Yeah.
people.
Wait,
Okay.
I gotta be honest. When you said leave a mark on the earth, I was like, I would make it a big square.
I would make it a very big square.
Yeah.
A star on the earth.
Yeah.
That's my mark.
Very
Well, that-
big
that-
stuff.
so-
a top hat. That's what I'm
So yeah, feeding people
That's cool.
in need.
Yeah. I
Um.
wouldn't say in need, but
Oh, just
I'm kidding,
People
I'm
that pay. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
The
I'm
billionaires,
kidding.
billionaires.
I'd,
I got
I'd,
it. Money.
I'd feed the people who need it too.
Yeah.
If I could make any mark on this earth, it'd be the one to have the most money.
Yeah.
The most money.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my little hardball question.
Uh-oh.
What is something you wish to improve about yourself in the future?
Oh, dude, I gotta change one of my questions now. Thank you.
Oh, is that one of them?
Yes, it was.
For Hunter?
Yes.
Why?
Hunter, there's so much to improve
Screw
about yourself.
Yeah.
Screw- you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
You know what? Screw you both.
No, it's because I wanted you to think about yourself.
Yeah.
I think just having less anger issues.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's very.
It's admirable. I
Yeah.
think. I think a lot of people wouldn't want to do that. They'd be
I'm
like,
too angry. I don't have anger issues.
Yeah.
I know I have anger issues.
or to
I
some
wish I
people-
didn't though.
Yeah.
Some people like being angry. Like for them makes them
I don't
feel-
like being angry because then people get mad at me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they get angry, and then it's
Yeah.
a big anger.
Yeah.
anger.
Yeah.
Oh, so much anger.
Okay, I changed it.
People just get annoyed with me because I get so mad. It's like it's not my fault, bro. I just
Oh,
get angry.
Wait,
It's not my
okay, I
fault.
kind of feel. Maybe we should go back around because I don't want her to have to answer my like. 'Cause you know what I
Okay.
mean?
So.
So
I could ask
Now
the-
you have to ask me my questions.
Okay. Ask you your questions. Okay.
Christmas time.
Christmas time.
Let's see. Which one do I want to ask first?
Ooh.
When you text us and you're like, I'm gonna make you guys as comfortable as possible. I thought you were gonna be like,
Well, you didn't say it was
how
gonna
much
make it-
money have you still?
Yeah.
How much money have you stolen in the past week?
No,
I definitely didn't rob a bank yesterday.
What is the most evil thing
Yeah.
you've ever done?
Nothing like that.
Sorry.
I don't think I gave you really any easy.
That's okay. I'm very big. I'm very.
Sorry, guys,
That was crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
still
That's
dying.
like a world
over
record
here.
combo
Yeah.
right there.
Okay.
Hit
Narrow
the combo on me.
narrowing it down to just one. What is your end goal in life?
My end goal in life
Mm-hmm.
is to. Well, I've talked before. I don't want to be lonely. That's probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
But I think that like on my deathbed, what I want to have done is that I want to have made people happier with themselves.
Okay.
So I guess my end goal is just to make people happy with themselves. One person, it doesn't have, it can be that makes me feel the most fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like everything I do in life works towards that and not being lonely. So that a lot of everything I do kind of leads to those ultimatums,
Yeah.
like ends, hopefully.
Interesting.
If everything works out.
Interesting. Gotcha. You had that one ready. Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
I think about myself a lot.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
You
narcissist.
Yeah.
So again, I use
kidding.
I use this word in this context again. What attracts you to the media you consume, and what do you think that says about yourself as a person?
The media that I like usually has a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Indie games is a big example of that. But the media I like is generally you can feel like the people who made it that they really liked it.
Right.
Or the music. Music always will make me like something more, regardless of the quality of the game itself. It could be the worst game in the entire world.
Right.
And if the soundtrack is good, I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's something I never really figured out about myself. I just really like music, I guess. It just like speaks to me on a certain level.
Yeah.
But I think that, appreciating the art that other people make is actually, I'm very glad to have that trait, because that means that like I don't just play games to like make myself feel better or like to escape or anything. I play games to appreciate things and appreciate art, and that's pretty cool, I think.
Interesting. Good answer. Okay. So think, for this next question, I want you to think of your biggest dreams. You can have all of it, just everything you could ever want. It's right in front of you.
Yes.
If your dreams were right in front of you, but the only way to achieve them is to abandon everyone you know and love, would you take it?
Well, you know what? That's kind of weird, because my dream would be to be with everyone that I know and love.
Right.
It's like kind of the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But okay, but we'll say then, like, my dream of having my book published and to have Lucology be a well-known thing,
Right.
and to like win a Nobel Prize or something like that. I don't know that I would. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Because I feel fulfilled. That fulfillment would last for maybe like for a while. But if I have all these people around me that I respect and that respect me,
Right.
that makes me feel more fulfilled constantly throughout my whole life.
Right.
And that to me seems more beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dang. I was really hoping you'd be like, yeah.
No,
just
no,
leave
no,
them
no.
all
Screw all of
behind.
you.
You know what's funny? I the senior superlative thing that they do. They did. I won 2. I won most likely to be on Broadway and most likely to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And I chose Broadway because that, to me, that was like more fun. But like still, like it was such a hard choice. Like I don't know which one I prefer.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on Broadway, but I think that's more fun than saying I'd win a Nobel Peace Prize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at me. I want to know about Peace Prize.
No, I didn't. I did not win though. Most likely.
No, I
to.
know. I'm just saying. I was
Yeah.
making a
I don't know.
joke.
It's
about-
interesting. That was those questions always interest me because it says
Yeah.
a lot about me.
Oh, no, yeah,
All
that
right,
was a good answer.
next one.
Okay. You're heading into a new universe with a clean slate and can only bring one thing from this universe
like
with
a
you.
physical thing.
Or a person. Who or what would it be? Now, I almost didn't want to include people because I don't want to make you choose
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
one person.
I don't. Yeah, we're gonna say
Wait,
no people.
yeah.
'Cause
Say-
I don't
say a
think
physical thing.
Mostly because I don't think I could either.
Yeah.
that's too hard because
Yeah.
everyone. I get things out of everybody anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you
So
get things
you
out
can
of
bring
people.
one thing with you.
One thing with me.
Yep.
So this is again we're going to have to ask the logistics of this question, but this is a new universe where like I'm the same age that I was.
Yes.
Like everyone still like kind of knows who I. No one knows who I am.
No one knows who you are.
Okay, I'm completely new.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm just living on the streets, huh? I would.
My billions of dollars.
I'd probably bring my like this is like it's digital, so I don't know how I'd bring it, but I'd probably bring like my book. Like I'd probably bring a way to continue writing my book.
Okay.
Because I feel like because again I need that fulfillment, and if nobody knows me or respects me yet over there, I feel like I want to do something that still fulfills me. So that would be probably writing my book.
Yeah.
It's hard to say though, because again I would probably want to like bring a video game console or something, but again I could just buy that over there.
Right.
So that's an interesting question.
Yeah. And last question. Now this is the big uncomfortable one
That's
that
okay.
I know I put it in here because I know it's the kind of question you will not like.
Yeah.
And you can be as honest as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
The question is, what are some grievances you have with me as a person?
With you as a person?
Yeah. So this is something I think is important.
I agree. I'm actually glad you asked that.
Yeah. Criticizing people on a deeper level other than saying you suck.
Well, I think it's something that
Austin, you know what? I have grievances.
it's not
Yeah.
Suck.
Well, thank you.
grievance.
Yeah, thank you.
Grievance is a tough word because I don't know if I'd say it's a grievance I have with you.
Right, just like you know what I mean.
Yeah, for me,
You're stupid.
Not
Yeah.
something that's frustrating me, but something that's always kind of like is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like I don't always know how you feel about something, which I know that you say
Okay. Mm-hmm.
you always struggle with too, and wish you're better at. But like I have a hard like sometimes I'll recommend a game to you or something, and I won't be able to tell how you feel about it, and
gotcha.
and to me, like I always feel like when I tell someone something, the way they react to it always helps me to be able to be like, okay, that person likes this, I'm gonna
Right.
keep doing it that way. But it's hard sometimes for you
Yeah.
because you don't react to things as much.
Gotcha.
Um,
yeah,
so-
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Interesting.
and it's something that like I know that you vocalized before, and I appreciate that because it's not something that, like I wish that you did that because it make my life more convenient, but it's something I
Right,
also
no.
feel like that you would benefit from.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter.
That's good.
You're back on the
Back on the
chopping
hot
block.
seat. I forgot.
Is this it? Is this the last round of questions?
No, he
I
has to
have
ask you.
mine for you.
Oh,
and
that's
then
right.
they're both questions.
The both questions.
Yep.
All right, Hunter. What appeals to you
Gulp.
in media?
Gulp. Media. What appeals to me?
Yeah, like what would make you want to watch an anime or play a game? You know what I mean?
Maybe watch anime or play a game.
Like you see a trailer for a game and it looks good to you. Why does it look good to you?
It just hasn't like if concept is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
like Zookosis.
Yeah.
Right.
That game was the concept to me was extremely interesting to me. Like mutant animals inside of a zoo.
Yeah.
Again, I thought it was a normal zoo.
So something that's like creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that with you, like because you like Bendy a lot, and that's something that is very like out there.
Oh
and
yeah,
different.
it's really interesting to me because like it's just different than most things.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm thinking the same way. The more unique something is, the more you like it. All right, next question. If you could create any form of media, what would it be? And I asked this because Austin and I are both doing that, but I want to know what you would do if you had a choice. if you had all the resources that you could like you need
All the money.
and all the knowledge you have to make that thing, what would you do? Like if you could make. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because I don't want you to give an example. But
Probably be a video game.
Yeah. What kind of video game?
excuse me, I'm asking the
I'm
question. I'm
sorry,
kidding. I'm
I'm
kidding.
sorry.
I was gonna say that too.
I don't know. It's just like just depends on like. I would love to make it like an ocean game, but like there's so many like already games based
Do
on.
you think
the
you'd be able to
ocean.
make it creative and different?
If I had the skill sets and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in that version of myself,
Okay.
I feel like I could, cause like there's things you can do with ocean stuff. I feel like you can still make a horror ocean game,
Mm-hmm.
like, and not make it how the other ones are kind of. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but I think you guys.
I kind of get what you're getting
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. Just remember my lobster horror story from the Spookier special. That's what the game would be like. Ron
Yes.
and Ralph coming after you.
That is true. I would
Giant.
love to play a
Yeah.
horror hunter game. That was like, I always thought that an ocean horror game to me would be more interesting if it wasn't a survival horror. If it was like
Yeah, that's why I wasn't thinking about making a survivor.
Yeah.
So like
Survival.
what?
like if it was more like Resident Evil, where like you're like just doing
Ah.
things and you're experiencing a
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
rather than like survival horror, which
Sure,
is
yeah.
probably more effective. But I think it'd be interesting to do. It
I
that
think
way
what
too.
I'd do if I were to make like a not a survival horror, but like Resident Evil type
Mm-hmm.
horror ocean game, is like be a marine biologist, obviously, and you're going through the ocean
Mm-hmm.
and trying to discover more life. And as you're
Oh,
going to
interesting.
discover more life, you're being watched by something that's
Yeah.
bigger than you, but
Yeah.
you don't know about it for like a while in the game.
Mm-hmm. Like you're being hunted by something.
Yeah, you're being
Yes.
hunted, but it doesn't it's not like big at you, but like you can kind of feel it in the game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always like stuff like that.
Like I would put it like
a
if-
lingering presence.
Yeah, there's a lingering presence. Like you can sense it in the game, but you won't actually like know it's there until like one random point when it like goes to attack you.
Yeah.
I'd maybe make it a quick time event, but I don't think I'd do that because that's annoying as all heck.
Yeah.
I always
So,
like
but
the,
yeah.
the structure of like Resident Evil or like Little Nightmares,
Mm.
where it's like you're like you go into like an area or like a place or a part of the game and you spend like an hour or two learning the mechanics of whatever's hunting you there,
Right.
and escaping it and doing all these and then getting away and then you're on to the next one. To me, that is always the most effective way to do horror because you can do multiple concepts within one game. And
Right.
an ocean one I think would be really neat. Like
True.
one thing, you're going through a cave with like a squid next.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That is interesting though. I think that'd be a cool game. I think that you'd definitely be the one to make that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is one I've been wondering a long time about you too. What is your favorite thing about cooking?
Favorite thing about cooking.
Yeah, like what appeals to you in it?
I think it's just like being able to make something like worth eating and actually making it like the way it should be.
That's interesting. So like,
Yeah.
like something that's tangible.
Yeah.
But that like you're trying to get it to be a certain way that fulfills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hate when I make grilled cheese sometimes and like I look away for a little bit too long and it gets a little too burnt.
Sad.
Even just like if it's like a little too burnt, it just gets on me because like I want to make it perfect.
But like, does that like feeling of having to constantly improve drive you, or does it frustrate you?
It
Or like having to learn and like know how to do things differently the next time you do it?
it drives me mostly.
That's good. That's good.
It-
And I think that makes sense for you too.
Yeah, but it also kind of makes me mad because I also have this really big issue with things. Whenever I like something, like I feel like I have to know everything about it, and if I don't know this
yeah.
one thing, then I shouldn't be. I should just quit it completely
A lot of people can probably relate to
and
that.
never try it again because I have to know everything, even though I know I'm not gonna know everything.
Right.
Yeah, I think something that a lot of people deal with is like having the holding. I think I deal with this too. Holding yourself to like a very high standard, especially when it comes to things you're passionate about, and like trying to constantly achieve that standard, even if it's like impossible.
Yeah,
That always kind of leads to a sense of like I'm not a good enough person. you
yeah,
know,
that's
like, and that's where the frustration comes.
that's
in.
kind of why I quit kind of thinking about like marine biology and stuff like that because there's a lot of stuff that I just thought I
That's
knew,
why
but
I
I
stopped
was
thinking
wrong
about
about.
game design. That's why I used to want to be a game designer, but now it's like, you know, I don't. It's not my passion anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not,
Yeah.
It's not. It's too much that I don't understand about it.
Yeah.
That was a good question. I appreciate you thinking deeper about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite thing about this podcast?
I don't know. It's just kind of fun to do, talk about things, even though probably I'm the one who talks the least on here. But yeah, it's just nice to talk about things sometimes.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there at home doing nothing. Like I've
you
been
feel
doing
purposeful.
at this past 2 weeks, I've done nothing. Like the last week, I've done nothing. I literally sat in my room, or not even in my room. I laid down, slept, and coughed the entire time.
Yeah.
I did nothing but cough. I went to school for 2 days, and it sucked because I was coughing every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks. But feeling like going out and doing something and
Yeah.
it makes you happy.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, and this last one is kind of fun. I didn't really make many fun questions. I was like, oh, this will be going to ask her. You have to pick a superpower for Austin and I.
Oh.
So you have to give us different superpowers.
Oh.
And you can, you can do whatever you want.
I don't even know what what superpower you guys would like.
We don't have to like it.
Yeah.
I think you would like being stupid and dumb.
That's not
Oh.
a superpower.
Yeah.
I think more like your invisibility or you're able to fly or laser eyes or something.
Let's rule out teleportation because we already talked
Yeah,
about that one.
that was the one I talked about. I don't know. Austin, please make me a cool cowboy guy.
Yeah, cowboy superpower.
You're gonna be a really, really not cool astronaut guy.
Oh,
Astronaut.
astronaut.
Yeah, no,
So superpower.
I'm kidding. Cause that's like I feel like that's kind of like the opposite of being a cowboy. Is like,
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
Toy Story kind of popularized.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fit. Toy
or you could
Story.
be a space cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
They're
Yeah.
making a fifth Toy Story, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah.
I love Toy Story.
I don't think they should have made a fourth one.
But it was good though.
Yeah, I heard it was
I didn't
good.
think they should make a fourth one either, but I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Austin, you would like. I feel like a good power for you would be like reversing time or for fast forwarding time. Like
Okay, so controlling time?
doing something with
Okay.
time travel, so you can go back to the
You're a
Western
busy
days.
person.
Okay.
and
Yeah, you're a pretty busy person.
Yeah, go back to the Western days. Go back and stop my laptop from falling off my car.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
My mom, every time we have this conversation with my mom, like, what superpower would you choose? She always like rules every single one out. Like, she always has a way to be able to counter each one. Like I want
Like,
to fly.
why she wouldn't want that?
Yeah, and like why it's bad to have it.
Oh.
To me, the one that I always thought I would never be able to find a flaw with is being able to control time.
Really?
Because it's like
Yeah.
I feel like that one has the most flaws.
I like think about being able to like stop time and like take a nap or like go forward in time to skip something that's like bad.
Right.
You know, unless you add in like other elements of like a story, like oh if you abuse it too much.
But
it's
have
like a
you
collapse,
watched
but, like,
any time travel movie ever.
Right, but that has to do with like your actions. You know what I
right.
mean? Like
as long as you do everything right.
yes, then
There's
it's good.
There's no
Then Luke.
problem.
Yeah, what about me?
This one's difficult. Austin's, I just kind of thought time
Because
travel.
I'm already so super.
No,
Yeah.
that's not at all why. Actually, it's the very opposite because you're not super enough, so I can't think
Yeah.
of anything.
Nah, I can't narrow it down.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But no, Austin's was pretty kind of simple because like he likes old stuff, so
Mhm.
it'd
Yeah.
be kind of cool for him just to go back in time and watch the old stuff as it's being created
Oh, that's true.
from like
Yeah.
his own little viewing place.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could watch one of the silent films,
Yeah.
like
Very true.
when they were created.
yeah, with
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or no, when they were created because they didn't have sound.
Yeah,
They
but
were
everything would be
silent
black and
because-
white.
Well, they were silent because they were silent.
Because back in those days, everything was in black and white. So
Yeah.
it'd be weird.
It'd be boring. Yeah.
Yeah, everything was black. Everything was in black and
So
white.
God, got out the paint. And
Yeah.
When there was no pictures, when you couldn't take pictures at all, everything was just nothing. There was no color.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't even black and white. There was just
everyone was just like a blob moving around.
everything was just a blob. That's how color works, guys.
It's because
Yeah.
media is like like, media is the reason everything exists.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but you gotta think of another.
Before I cough up a
Stop!
lung.
You gotta
Sorry.
think about my superpower.
Superpower before I cough up a lung. Ooh.
You're on timer here. Come on.
Anything that you
That
would
lung's
like
coming up.
throw someone a little bit like you would give me a little bit of a hint on
A
something
hint?
you might like.
Well, time was always the one I like, but I don't know if it's best for me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of energy.
You could fly.
I
You could have super speed.
super
Ooh,
speed. Yeah.
I just thought of one.
What do you think?
What?
Read people's minds.
I would hate that. Could you
Yeah, I knew
imagine?
he would hate that.
Imagine
That'd be
you start
bad.
reading someone's mind and then you like find out that they hate you. You know?
Yeah.
Like that'd suck.
Yeah.
That would that
I
would
also
happen if
came
you
up
read
with that
my
one though
mind.
because you said like you're always thinking about like whether people like things or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that I would lose that too.
Right.
I think that there's a sense of like
That's what you would find out if you
fulfillment.
read my mind, Luke.
yeah, oh yeah.
It's because I hate you.
I also wonder like when it comes to like reading minds, like what does that mean? Because when people think it's
Yeah.
always like so abstract and like it's
Yeah.
never like actual words.
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Now we have to get moving because we have 10 minutes and
Yeah.
I have 5 questions, two
Rapid
for
fire.
both of you.
Yeah,
Rapid
Okay.
fire.
What is your favorite Soulsborne game and why?
Ooh. Okay. Favorite Soulsborne game is. This is not rapid fire. Okay.
Come on, man.
It's okay.
I'm gonna have to say this is a hot take.
Sekiro counts, by the way, too.
That's not my favorite. That's the only one I haven't beaten actually.
Oh.
Demon Souls remake for the PS5.
Okay.
Just because I had the most fun with it. It was during lockdown, so I didn't have to worry about anything else. It was just me playing the game nonstop, just getting better at it. It was
Oh,
the
the
game.
PS5 was out during lockdown. I didn't
Yes.
It came out in 2020.
That's crazy. I feel like it just came out. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah, but so yeah, it was just good because I just felt really connected with that game, and it was the one game where I felt like I really got good at it. So, yeah, and it's underappreciated, I think so.
Favorite Xbox/PlayStation? Because I know you played both of them.
So favorite like version.
You can
favorite
you can either
console?
choose like which game from Xbox or which game from PlayStation you found is
Oh,
your
favorite game. Favorite game.
Yeah, just whichever one you want to choose.
Okay.
Because I don't know which
Does
one
it,
you'd
so it
like.
has to be exclusive though, so it can't
Yeah.
be like Red Dead. Okay.
Yeah. Buy
Yeah.
Xbox or PlayStation, whichever one you want to choose.
Trying to think.
Sorry.
I have one I think is the answer, but I want to make sure there's nothing else. Okay, I would have to say. Ooh, it's a close one. I would have to say Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite. Or no, I just thought of it. God of War 2018 is my favorite PS5 or not PS5, PlayStation exclusive of all time. Phenomenal game. Ghost of Tsushima's close second there. Very good game. As well as Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's good. But God of War is my favorite. Yep.
Cool.
Favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie. Ooh, that's a good one.
And I didn't think about is that like when people are like asking each other questions, like there's always one person who just is gonna be having to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Favorite horror movie. Gosh, there's so many good ones. I guess The one I'll just have to say long legs because it's recency bias.
Okay.
Long legs, yeah, recency bias.
So then both. Okay, now my my questions for both of you.
You
what is-
talk at the same time.
Yep.
No, not at the same. What is your guys' favorite like pastime, if not like video games, or if not video games?
So no video games allowed. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting one.
I can go because I already know mine. You
Well,
want
yeah, I
me to
mean,
go?
just say whatever. You
Oh,
Yeah, just
okay.
say whatever you guys
Um,
have it.
I mean, this one's also kind of like work, so I don't know if it counts. But writing probably would be my
I don't know
I don't know if
favorite.
that's work. I think it's creative.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting
Um,
paid for it.
I guess
yet.
it's creative work. If I
Mhm.
mean, he's gonna get paid for it at one point whenever
Yeah.
he releases it.
So yeah, I would have to say writing is my favorite pastime.
Okay.
My. It's always like video games is like the big one, and then I have a bunch of like little ones that I do. You know, it's not really like.
Mm.
But I guess I always say, and it's kind of a joke, but it's also is kind of true. Like thinking is my favorite pastime. Like I enjoy thinking about things and wondering.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I always think of like Luke Skywalker when he's staring off into like the sunset. Like that's how I feel.
Of
when
course,
all the
he's
time.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's my name.
yeah.
You know, as a kid, I never found that like. You know, everyone's always like, "Oh, you have the same name as Luke," and like, for some reason, I never found that interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, he just happens to have the same name as me. Like, what's the big deal?"
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then last one is, what is your favorite part of your favorite video game?
Favorite part. So my favorite part of Red Dead, the story, obviously, but I'd say more specifically.
Yeah, meaning like
Yeah.
outside of just the story.
Watching the characters change over the course of the game would have to be my favorite.
My favorite part of Ace Attorney is the
That's your favorite game?
well, yeah. Remember the big announcement I made?
Member.
Isn't that technically an
Member-
indie game though? And that
No,
was
Capcom.
oh
They also made Resident Evil.
yeah, true.
My favorite thing about Ace Attorney is how well written the characters are, and how interesting, like, and how much you get to know them over the course of just like a few hours of gameplay. You know.
Yeah.
But also because that is tied with the way that the music complements the game. My brother and I had this conversation before. Is that I think Ace Attorney's soundtrack is the only soundtrack that I would consider to be perfect for the game it is because it is simple yet it's effective. Every
Yeah.
time, like every song that plays, whenever it does, is always the exact feeling that you're feeling in the courtroom. And to me, that is a sign of a very, very good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when it can play on with your emotions and your like your mind in a positive way the whole time is really cool, and that always appealed to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Which I'm also I've been playing the first game again because I'm doing an annual. I'm starting to do because this first year of doing it. I'm gonna do an annual replay of the first trilogy.
Yeah.
Because the case with Von Karma happens on Christmas. And I was like to line it up because I got the game on Christmas and I got to
Yeah.
that case and I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So if anyone complains about this episode being extraordinarily long, we didn't have an episode last week, so you should be happy.
that's true. I didn't think about
We had a
that-
short episode last week.
And you know what? This
Yeah.
episode I think was like all killer, no filler. I think we had a pretty good
Right.
flow the whole
it's
time.
like it's not like we put a bunch of mumbo jumbo in here. You know?
Right, yeah.
Everything's
It
important.
was all thoughtful and
yeah.
interesting.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good content.
I always said interesting. I always say that weird. And you
Interesting.
know what?
Interesting.
Ever since you pointed it out, I always hear whenever I say the word frustrating.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Like I always hear. I never used to hear it.
Yeah,
now
every
I
time he
do.
says frustrating, he goes frustrating.
frustrating, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I for some reason I can never say the word cookie sheet.
I hate to put my
Cookie
girlfriend on the
sheet.
spot, but one thing that drives me crazy is when she says
hear that?
when she says the word commercial, she says commercial.
Come on.
That way every time.
Some people have weird things like that.
And she swears it's not like she's not doing it purposely
know.
or like she doesn't understand what's wrong about saying it that way.
Well-
it's just like, but every time
Yeah,
you
it's
go
like-
out of your way to say it like
Yeah.
that, I don't get it.
Yeah, she like looks you dead in the eye every
Yeah.
time. like,
Commercial.
Yeah.
It's like you go your whole life like saying it that way, and everyone's
Yeah.
too nice to tell you that you're saying it weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, cookie sheet. I had a hard time saying. I said it there, but I had that kind
I
of.
think most people have that problem.
I used to always say cookie treat.
I would think a lot
Like
of
I
people
just
Shooky-
trained my brain to say that.
Shooky Keat.
Yeah.
cookie cheat.
You see,
Because it's
hard.
it's difficult
We should
to
stop
say.
before we accidentally say a
Yeah, I
swear
know.
word.
It was close.
Cookie.
My stomach dropped. I was
yeah.
like,
yeah. So yeah.
pretty good. I didn't even think about a way to end this. So
Everyone pray for Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Actually, his funeral we'll let you know on when the dates
My
are.
funeral.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
Oh, you will be.
well, yeah,
Oh.
yet.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. We're all gonna die soon.
Yes, we
Well,
are.
maybe
yeah,
not
my
soon,
funeral
but
will be like in what, like 2080, maybe
Yeah, let's just go with that.
yeah,
2090. I don't know what year it'll be.
2090 is kind of high. I
Yeah.
don't know about that.
I don't know, like
That's like 40
I
decades.
don't know, like
or something like that.
2210 or something.
Yeah.
The scientists say the first person to live to 150 has already been born.
How? What?
Well,
How
had
can they
to
know
have
that?
been-
How can they know that?
Mm.
Well,
Scientists,
I
dude.
mean, like if they're 150,
Mm.
they kind of have to be born right now.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all ever like just be happy and then like you think about the sun gonna explode in 7 billion years and then you just
No,
get
not
sad?
really.
No.
But why are you doing this again?
I'm sorry. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's go before I start coughing more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. 3, 2, 1.
Peace out, media junkies.